Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on today's video. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jasmine and I love to talk about books. So if you saw by that title, today I'm coming to you guys with a book haul. I would consider this my summer book haul because this is an accumulation of books that I have gotten over the last few months that I have remembered to actually put on this shelf for the book haul. So yeah, I'm calling it a summer book haul because, you know, we're in the last month of summer and I haven't done a summer book haul, so hence summer book haul. Y'all, I don't know what I be saying sometimes, but yeah. So I honestly don't know how many books are on this list. It's a lot of books. We got some series, we got some new releases, we got some long awaited books that I've just wanted. So yeah, you know, and I feel like I haven't done a book haul in a while, even though I feel like I say that every time I do a book haul. And so I think it's very clear that, like, I still have a problem, a book buying problem. So, you know, it's okay. But first I want to show you guys some items that I just recently got from Temu. And I want to thank Temu for partnering me on today's video. So if you guys have not heard of Temu, I mean, they're kind of everywhere now, but it's an online retail store and they literally have such a wide variety of items. One thing I absolutely love to get from them is just bookish items. They're so affordable and you can usually get so much for such a little price. So I actually have a few items. Well, I'll put everything that I got like down in the description box because I got bookends, I got like book decor items, but I'll show you guys some of my top like items that I will be like using like right now, or like, you know, this week. So the first thing I got, which you guys saw in my bookish essentials video, I love book stickers for my Kindle, and even just like I put them on my phone. And so you guys know I have a big jar of book stickers, and so I was able to get 2 new packs of book stickers, and literally it just comes in this. And do you see how many stickers are in here? So I got book related ones, but these are, so like this one, it says an annotated book is a love book. And we know that's so true because if I annotate a book 9 times out of 10, it's like a 5-star. It says emotional support Kindle, which I don't know if you guys can see that. Wait, is it gonna focus? I don't know if it's gonna focus, and that's just so rude. But it says emotional support Kindle. And then also we have the ACOTAR, like there's an ACOTAR sticker. So it has like all the ACOTAR books, and literally just, y'all, why is it like not, okay, there we go. Literally so freaking cute. I just cannot wait to put these to use. This one just says professional bookworm. So like literally and I think this was maybe like $2 or $3. If you guys are interested, like I said, I will put everything in a description box, as well as a coupon code for you guys if you want to get you some cute bookish items. And then I'll show you guys the other stickers that I got. These are just like all pink because, you know, pink is the color, even though blue is my favorite color, but you know, pink is up there also. So yeah, it's just like, it says hot girls read books. You just got some pink books here. You also have the House of Win book club, and if you know, you know. So I love that, like, you just have like all these little sayings. And then this one says hockey romance girly, which we already know your girl loves a good hockey romance. And another thing I got is a new book lamp. So the one I have, which you guys saw in my bookish essential videos, also it's like the, what is it called, the gooseneck kind of thing. So I really wanted to get one that was like just smaller and like that I could just easily, like, you know, clip onto my book. And you know, I just wanted a different one, so I found this one. And also it's so cool, it's like a USB when you want to charge it, which, I mean, y'all, that's just like literally so minute, but I was just so interested in it. And it has 3 different levels, and so yeah, it's just, I just like, you know, I was just like, it's smaller, I can easily fit it in my purse, or my suitcase instead of like having to like worry about like, you know, the little neck thing on my other one. So I like would have that one at home, but this one I will be taking with me like when I travel for work and stuff, so that way I don't have to use the hotel lamp, because if y'all like me, the lamp be giving too much light when I'm trying to go to sleep or when I'm trying to read. So I just like really like love having just, you know, a small light. But then probably one of my favorite things I got are these bookmarks, and you guys know I consider these like my fancy bookmarks, and by fancy I mean like they're giving rich girl, but like they are so inexpensive. So I love the little chains, and I just love like when it hits your book, it's just like, it's like a dopamine hit for some reason. But this one says a book a day keeps the mental breakdown away, and we will see if it focuses. But yes, that's what this one looks like. And then I have this one that says just one more chapter, and I don't know, it's like a metal, so it's probably not gonna focus, but and it has a little feather chain at the end. And then this one says I like my books spicy and my coffee icy. And I actually got this one because I got a new bag, and I'll actually put the little picture of it here. But I also got this from Temu, so I love that like it matches. So like I have the bag and the bookmark, and I also have a cup. So if I have a picture of the cup, it's actually dirty right now because I was drinking my iced coffee in it yesterday, but if I have a picture of it, I will also put that here. So like I have a little trio of things like I like my books spicy and my coffee icy. I love that saying because I actually do love my iced coffee, except like, you know, around the holidays when Starbucks come out with the holiday drinks. But yeah, so those are a few items that I got, and like I said, I want to thank Temu for partnering me on today's video. And if you guys are interested in any of the items, like I said, I will put them in the description box, and I'll also link the other items that you were not able to see in this video. But yeah, moving forward, let's talk about these books that I got this book haul, the books that I got over summer. Okay, so starting out, this is just like such a random book purchase, but there's a reasoning to it. So I did get another copy of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I got this because a few of us from the Thrills and Chills book club are doing a complete reread of the ACOTAR series, and I want to go full out and like annotate, and like, you know, I may even like listen along with the graphic audio because I have not heard that one yet, and I hear it's really good. So I may try to like, you know, read and listen to that at the same time, but I want to annotate the heck out of this book. Like, I am so excited to dive back into this world. It's like full circle. It's almost been a year since I first started this series, so I am just like, no, 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years because I started it in 2022, so it's almost been 2 years since I like first dived into this world, and I just feel like, you know, nostalgia, you know, let's just go back into those first days of reading, and you know, yeah. And then the other one I just got another copy of Magnolia Parks because I plan to do the same thing with this. I plan to do a full reread, fully annotate, and just like really, you know, also probably to the audiobook. So these are like just two like books I already own, but like I got new copies for a specific purpose. So that's those. But now we're gonna go into like the books that I don't have. The first book I got was God of War by Rena Kent. This is the final book of the Legacy of God series. The only one I've read is God of Wrath, which it's like the third book in the series. They're all interconnected standalones, but I do want to go back and like start at the beginning, which I think the first one is no, not God of Malice. I honestly don't remember, but yeah, I absolutely love God of Wrath, and so I love the world. And if you guys have not heard of Rena Kent writes phenomenal dark romance. One of my favorite romance series by her is the Monster Trilogy. Literally, that series eats down. If you really want to know what an enemies to lovers like book should look like, go read the Monster Trilogy. I promise you will not be disappointed. But yeah, so I got this one, and I saw that she also has like new covers for them, but like I already had the covers with the men on it, and as much as I hate having human, I just had to see it through. I had to get them all. So we'll see if I will invest in the different covers that have come out, the like alternative covers. The book I got was The Queen's Rising by Rebecca Ross, and I actually got this one because I saw that Rachel Catherine like posted about it, and I think she was just asking like if anyone read it. And so after like going on Amazon and looking at it, I was like, oh, this sounds like pretty interesting. But it says he chose betrayal, she chose vengeance. When her 17th summer solstice arrives, Brianna desires only two things: to master her passion and to be chosen by a patron. With her fellow ardent sisters at the renowned Magnalia House in Valenia, seems to be naturally gifted at one of the five passions: art, music, dramatics, wit, or knowledge. Brianna struggled to find hers until she chose knowledge. However, despite years of preparation, Brianna is left without a patron. Months later, her life takes an unexpected turn when a disgraced lord offers her patronage. Once Brianna accepts, she quickly becomes entangled in a dangerous plot to overthrow the ruthless king of Mavana, the rival kingdom of Valenia, and restore the rightful queen and her magic to the throne. With war brewing, Brianna must choose between passion and blood, because a queen is destined to rise and lead the battle to reclaim the crown. Who will that queen be? So it just sounded interesting. And Rebecca Ross is also the author of Divine Rivals. I like, for a second I was like, wait, what is she the author of? But yes, I think it's Divine Rivals. Yes, I don't know why. Okay, yeah, she's the author of Divine Rivals. I believe so. I don't know why I'm still doubting that in my head. But yeah, so I absolutely love that book by her. So this is actually a duology, but I only got the first book because we're trying to learn Control, and we're trying to stop buying full series before we even read the first book. So yes, that is what this one is, and hopefully, you know, hopefully I enjoy it. But then the next one I got is the third book in the I don't really remember what this series is called, but it is called Fate of the Sun King. And this is the third book. There's supposed to be one more book that releases, I think, by the end of this year. We shall see. But I already had the first two books, and I know I literally just said we're stop trying to buy a full series, but I was already in deep with this series. So, you know, I had the first two, so I had to go ahead and get the third one. And yeah, I honestly, it's The Trial of a Sun Queen is the first book, I think. Let's see. Usually, you know, okay, no, it's not here. It's in the back of the book. Okay, yeah, so it is the Artifacts of Oranos. That's the series, I think it's called. But you have Trial of the Sun Queen, Rule of the Aura King, and then Fate of the Sun King. So that is, I don't really know what the series is about, but I'm not going to read this one because it's the third in the book and I don't want to spoil anything. But I heard good things about it, and I bought the first two during a Black Friday sale at Barnes. So that's how that happened in the first place. So we're just, you know, we're seeing it through. But then the next book I got is Pimp Pal by J.T. Geisinger, I think is how you say it. But I feel like everyone has been talking about this book lately, and also it was like a new, like, you know, the spray edges, which I was like, okay, I can ignore the man on the front for the edges because that's like so cute. And it just says, I'll wait forever if I have to, which I love that it has like a little saying like on top of the spray edges. But this one, if I remember correctly, I believe it is, I think it's, well, obviously it's titled Pimp Pal, but I think it is like a Pimp Pal romance. But it just says, my first letter arrived the day my husband was buried. It was postmarked from the state penitentiary, and it contained a single sentence: I'll wait forever if I have to. It was signed by Dante, a man I didn't know. Out of simple curiosity, I wrote back to him what exactly he was waiting for. His reply, you. I told the mystery man he had the wrong woman. He said he didn't. I said we never met, but he said I was wrong. We went back and forth exchanging letters every week that grew increasingly more intimate. Then one day the letters stopped. When I found out why, it was already too late. Dante was on my doorstep, and nothing on earth could have prepared me for what happened next. So yeah, this is exactly the book that I thought it was. Yeah. So yeah, it just sounds super interesting. Like I said, I've heard everyone talk about this book, and also there's, I think it's Perfect Stranger or something that also is written by the same author. So I really want to read that one. I have it downloaded on my Kindle. So yeah, let me know if you've read this one and what are your thoughts. And yeah, hopefully I get to it by the end of the year. The book I have is Her Soul to Take by Harley Larks. This is the Souls Trilogy book 1, and I have just seen this one all over TikTok, and so I've just been like, you know, let me let me just try it, let me see, because I know her books are very taboo, if I remember correctly, but I have not read anything by her. So I have just like really been wanting to dive into it, because I know she has another series, which I have the prequel novella in that series. I just don't remember the title of it. But yeah, we will see if I read this. Let me know if you've read this, and you know, is our yeah, just let me know. Let me know if you read it. I'm a little hesitant now. But then the next book I got is The Next Best Fling by Gabriela Gomez, and it just says 2 broken hearts, 1 messy fling, 1 messy plan. And honestly, y'all, I got this because literally Abby Jimenez has a forward on it, and I'm just like done. If anything Abby Jimenez promotes, says is good, I'm there. I'm getting it, no doubt about it. But it says, if you can't be with the one you love, fake date someone else. Librarian Marcela Ortiz has been secretly in love with her best friend for years, and when he gets engaged, she knows it's long past time to move on. But when she dutifully attends the engagement party, Marcella discovers that she's not the only one with an unrequited crush. She may have it bad for the groom-to-be, but his hot ex-NFL brother, Theo Young, has it even worse for the bride. And I'm gonna stop right there because that already sounds juicy. Y'all, now I'm and at first, when I first saw this was coming out, I was like planning to read it on Kindle, but I saw it was not available on Kindle Unlimited, so that's why I had to buy the paperback. So I'm kind of excited now, because I'm super excited to dive into this, because that just sounds so interesting. Like, come on. But then the next one I have is The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson, and I know Lana Ferguson became like hot off the press like author last year when she had The Nanny release, which is on my 2024 TBR, and then she also just had a recent one released not too long ago that I have on my show. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and get this one. I'm already starting my Lana Ferguson collection, so let's just keep with the unresponsible decisions, you know. So yeah, but this one is called The Game Changer, and it says a hockey player and a baker shoot their shot in this steamy new romance. When Ian chases very public breakup, that's his name, Chases, his last name is Chase, very public breakup becomes a PR nightmare for his team. He hopes to focus on his game, but that suddenly seems less likely than a hat trick with his career and the team's image in jeopardy. Ian is surprised to find a solution through none other than Delilah Baker, his best friend and teammate's little sister, who isn't so little anymore. Y'all, oh my gosh, I love a good rom-com, and both of these two books that I just literally talked about are just giving the perfect little rom-com vibes, and I am just so ready. Look, there's actually a series or duology by Sarah Adams. So I have The Enemy and, well, The Match and The Enemy. And if you guys don't know, I love Sarah Adams. She actually lives in Nashville, which one day I hope to run into her, because she just seems like the perfect little angel. But her books like literally just give you like blush kicking your feelings vibes, and I literally cheese so hard at her words on the paper. So I was so excited to see that she have gotten these traditionally published by Dale Romance. And yeah, it says enemies. Well, okay, so for this one it says sometimes love finds you when you least expect it, and this one says enemies should never get a second chance, but this one might. So it looks like they're actually 2 different couples, but I don't want to spoil it because I just love going into Sarah Adams books like completely blind, because when I tell you, the Rome Kentucky series, literally obsessed. I cannot wait to start the cheat sheet, like that series, but I know it's not complete yet, I don't think. So I may go into this one or her Nashville, like the one that's based in Nashville series, which I have the like independently published, like the traditionally published copies. So we'll see if I go with this one or if I go with that one, but I really am excited to dive into another Sarah Adams book, especially for the fall time. Like, I don't know, it's like all her books, they're not like fully summer vibes, so like I feel like you can read them like at any point. And so she's always like a really good author to like read when you want a rom-com and you like don't like need those summer vibes. But yeah, so that's the first. I'm literally like, they're on a cube shelf, so that's the first cube. So the next cube, I got the third and final book in the Housemate trilogy. So this is The Housemate is Watching, and honestly y'all, I got it on Audible and I started the prologue and I like DNF'd it. I don't know if I hard DNF'd it or soft DNF'd it. We're gonna see. I just feel like, so I was very excited to read The Housemate's Secret because obviously like that was like after The Housemate, we were all like, I think everyone was so interested to see what happened. But I think honestly this series is just like, I feel like it just honestly should have stopped at The Housemate, because The Housemate's Secret, I mean, I listened to the audio and it was just like so not needed. Like I finally finished it like after my third or fourth time trying to read it. And so yeah, we'll see if I go back to this one. I don't know, let me know if you've read it. Everyone that I have seen read it have said it's just not needed. Like, and I know like I don't want to spoil anything, so like I can't really say where it like picks off it, but I know it's like I think a few years down the line from like The Housemate's Secret. So yeah, we will see if I go back to this one or if this one ends up on my Pango books. We will see. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But the next book I got is Snow Globe by Soyoung Park. And also this one I got convinced because Rachel Catherine did a reading vlog and the premise of this book just sounded so interesting. But essentially what it is, you have characters that like live in this globe and it's kind of like a reality show kind of. Like everyone in this globe is just like they're being watched, like kind of like a reality show. And so one of the, I guess, main like female characters, she passes, I think she dies or she goes missing or something. And eventually like they find a resident that like looks exactly like her to like fill her role, I think. Let's just read it. It says, enclosed under a vast dome, Snow Globe is the last place on Earth that's warm. Outside Snow Globe is a frozen wasteland, and every day citizens face the icy world to get to their jobs at the power plant where they produce the energy. Snow Globe needs to keep running. Their only solace comes in the form of a 24-hour television programming streamed directly from the dome city. The residents of Snow Globe have everything: fame, fortune, and above all, safety from the desolation outside their walls. In exchange, their lives are broadcast to the less fortunate who watch eagerly, hoping for the chance to one day become actors themselves. Chobam lives for the time she spends watching the show produced inside Snow Globe. Her favorite Ga around, starring Ga Hari, Snow Globe's biggest star, and turns out that the key to getting Chobam her dream life. Because Hari is dead and Chobam has become chosen to take her place, only life inside Snow Globe is nothing like what you see on television. Reality is a lie. The truth seems to be forever out of reach. So yeah, I got the premise right. I remembered it correctly. So it just sounded so interesting, and I'm just like, I think it's gonna be such a good book. Like I don't know, it just sounds so good, and just hearing Rachel's thoughts about it when she was reading, it just sounded like a good time. And yeah, I was convinced. I was easily convinced. But then the next book I have is Hearts That Cut, and this is the second book that goes to the Threads That Bind series. I think it's just going to be a duology. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy, because it says the sequel to the Threads That Bind. So I have the Threads That Bind on my TBR cart for my fall TBR. So I just had to get the second one because I've heard good things about Threads That Bind, and I'm just like, I need to make sure I'm prepared when I'm ready. So I'm not gonna read the back of this one because I just don't want to spoil it. But yeah, it seems like it picks up from what I just saw. It seems like it picks up exactly where Threads That Bind ends, or at least like a few weeks after. So yeah, next book I have is Tangled Up In You by Christina Lauren, and this is a meant to be novel. And so it's actually like a series with multiple authors. And so Christina Lauren, their book finally came out in this series. But this one says she has a dream, he has a plan, together they'll take a leap of faith. Ren has never held an iPhone, Googled the answer to a question, or followed a crush on social media. What she has done: read a book or two or three, okay, hundreds, taught herself to paint, and built a working wind power system from scratch. But for all the books she's read, Ren has never found one that can teach a woman raised on a homestead and off the grid for most of her 22 years how to live in the real world. When she achieves her lifelong dream of attending Corona College, it feels like her life is finally beginning. Fitz has the rest of his life mapped out, graduate from Corona at the top of his class, got his criminal record wiped clean, and passed himself off as rich, handsome player everyone thinks he is. He's a few short months from checking off step one of his plan when Ren, with her cascading blonde hair and encyclopedic brain, crashes into his life, and for the first time Fitz's plan is in jeopardy. So yeah, it's they are based off like fairy tales, so you can see obviously the hair, it's like Rapunzel like theme, I guess you can kind of say. So yeah, all the books in this series like kind of mimic like a fairy tale, so definitely recommend diving in, well, definitely recommend looking into that and then hopefully diving into it. I've had the first 3 books for a while, so hopefully I dive into the series pretty soon. But then the next 3 books are part of another series. I've already read the first 2, but it is the Heartstopper series, and this is book 3, 4, and 5. I do think book 6 is coming out soon, but yes, I got the other 3 books because I am absolutely obsessed with this series. I have watched the show, well, I'm like watching the show in tangent with reading the books. So I just finished book 2 like a week ago, so I'm like watching those episodes that correlate with book 2, and then once I watch those episodes I will start book 3. But y'all, absolutely love this series. This is my first graphic novel, and so if you guys have not heard of this series, I definitely recommend you look into it. It is just the cutest thing in the world, and the casting with the show is just so good. Like, I literally feel like I'm just literally seeing the book come to life on screen, and so absolutely love it. You have Charlie and Nick, and you just get to see like it's just so beautiful. I just don't want to spoil it for anyone, but I definitely recommend that you read that series or dive into it if you have not, because I feel like I'm late to the Heartstopper like train, but if you happen to be like me and you put it off for so long, I'm telling you, this is your sign to pick it up now. Pick up the book. Okay, we're getting close to the end, guys. The end is in sight. But the next book I have is A Rivalry of Hearts by, you already know we call her Tess over here, but Tess Odette. And this is the first book in the Fae Flings and Corset Strings like world. And so if you guys know, I absolutely love the is it Entangled with Fae? Yeah, the Entangled with Fae like series that goes like that focuses on a fairy tale in each book. So yeah, I am just so excited to read more of her. So when I saw that she had a new series coming out, I was like, perfect timing. So yes, my goal is to hopefully read the last book in the Entangled with Fae series either this month or next month, so then I can dive into this one, because the second book is already announced and it does come out pretty soon, so I want to be ready for it. But it just says 2 rival writers, 1 prestigious publishing contract, a bargain of hearts and seduction. And I just love the way she just writes like Fae world, but like also like it's just so dreamy, and it's just like fairy tale-esque, and it just reminds me so much of like how I felt when I read like Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I still do need to finish that. I got the last book to read, which I've been putting off for like most of the year, but the same feeling that I got reading those books, that's like the same feeling I get reading her books. And so I just love it. It's just like perfect when you want fantasy but you don't want like all of like the world building and all, like you just want like something fairy tale-esque. Like I definitely recommend trying out to some, I think it's to Sanja, but yes, if you just type in Tess Odette, it should pop up, or you can just type in the title of the book. But then the next book I got is 5 Brothers by Penelope Douglas, and y'all, this is her new release, and everyone, I have been seeing this everywhere. So by Penelope Douglas, I've read Credence and I've read Birthday Girl, and so I feel like this is like the third book that people have like read, if like that's like the process they're reading. I do want to start her Corrupt series, hopefully this year, hopefully, you know, this fall sometime, but this is a standalone, and so I really wanted to see what it was all about. But it says, one woman learns the secrets of the 5 Jaeger brothers in this new romance. On the other side of town, in the dark glades under the rain, Macon is the oldest, 31, ex-Marine. I don't think I've ever seen him smile. Army is 28, a single dad with the most beautiful green eyes. He has no idea who he is if not a Jaeger brother. Iron will be in prison soon. You never think it to meet him. He's a nice guy actually, but he can't stop reacting to everything. Dallas is the one I hate, 21, cruel and selfish. He takes and then throws away whatever's left, and Trace is mine, or he was for about 2 seconds. No one can tame him for long. Not that I ever wanted to. It was fun, but now I need to go home, back to my side of the tracks, away from the swamp and these men, to my parents' big house on my clean street where I'm never dirty or messy or hot. And I will. I'll leave first thing tomorrow morning. I just want to crash on the couch tonight. Their house is dark and quiet, and everyone else is asleep except for him. He sees me crying and comes at me from behind. I let him wrap his arms around my body and hold me tightly. His breath is on my neck, his fingers are in my hair, and he doesn't stop there. I don't think it was Trace. T, the way she writes her books, like, it's definitely like a hit or miss for some people. I know a lot of people, like, I love Birthday Girl and I absolutely love Credence. Credence did take me by surprise, but like eventually I liked the ending. I really loved how it turned out. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to dive into this one. Like I said, the 2 books I have read by Penelope Douglas, I have absolutely loved. I still think about them to this day. So, you know, I'm excited. But then the next book I got, this was definitely an impulse purchase, which, I mean, most of these probably were, but this one I actually bought in Atlanta airport, and I always pass this bookstore and I just never get anything out of there because it's like, usually they just have the books I already have. But I was like, I don't know, I was itching to buy something that day. I just hadn't bought a book in a while, and I was like, I'm itching to buy a book. And so I found a book that was like giving summer vibes, and so I got this one. It's called The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh, and it sounds interesting. It's it says, sometimes you're so busy writing other people's stories that you lose the plot of your own. And so it says, this wasn't how Kelsey Worthington Day was supposed to go. She wasn't supposed to be picking up Starbucks for her smarmy boss. She wasn't supposed to be getting hit by a car that jumped the curb, and she certainly wasn't supposed to wake up in a hospital next to Georgia Tate, the legendary matriarch of New York City businesswomen. Kelsey and Georgina couldn't be more opposite. Kelsey's a dreamer, a writer who questions her own skill, and Georgina is a confident businesswoman whose years of shouldering her way into boardrooms and making her voice heard have made her far too outspoken for the faint of heart. But now, when Georgina's failing kidneys force her to face some big regrets about the way she's lived her life, the 2 women recognize they share a common thread. Maybe it's time to confront a few things they must ask themselves. What if I said yes to everything I always said no to? So it just sounds super interesting. It's a women's fiction, and sometimes I think a women's fiction is just sometimes what I need when I don't want like romance, and I just want, like, you know, just something different. I love a good women's fiction book, so super excited to dive into this one. I did look on Goodreads and the reviews looked really good. It's not giving like 5-star, but it seems like a very good like filler book. I cannot think of the term that I'm actually looking for, but like a good reset to just, like, you know, I don't know the term I'm looking for, but yeah, it's like a good, you know, reset book. Next book I have is Play Along by Liz Tomfore. So this is the 4th book in the what is this actual series called? I don't know what the actual series is called, but you guys, I'm pretty sure you know the books. The Windy City series, that's what it's called. But this is the 4th book it's also actually a lot thinner than the other three. Like the other three are thick books. And Mile High is actually on my TBR for this month. We'll see if I actually get to it. Don't quote me. But yeah, this is the 4th book. I think there's supposed to be a 5th book, I think. But this one apparently focuses on Kennedy and Isaiah. And it looks like it's a baseball. Because each one like focuses on a different sport. So this one is a baseball romance. So yeah, I'm not going to read too much into it because like I said, it's the 4th book in the series. I know they're like standalone, but I do not want to, you know, spoil anything. But then the next book I have is Grimstone by Sophie Lark. This one I have been eyeing for a while. I have read 2 or 3 books by Sophie Lark so far, and I've enjoyed all of them, some better than others. But this is like a standalone novel, so I was like, well, let me dive into it. And it says Remy Hayes is beginning to think she's cursed. Her fiance cheated on her. Her brother Jude is a major pain in her ass, and the motoring mansion she inherited from her uncle might just be haunted. Flipping Blackleaf Manor already feels impossible, even before Remy gets blackmailed by Dane Covet, the dangerously hot doctor next door, and Grimstone's most eligible bachelor, if you can ignore the fact that everyone in town thinks he murdered his wife. Remy doesn't want to believe it, especially after Dane sews up a gash on her thigh and steals a kiss in payment, a kiss that makes it hard to walk for reasons that have nothing to do with an injured leg. But as the renovation takes a strange and violent turn, Remy must decide if Dane is the one haunting her nights or if he's trying to protect her from something much worse. And so this one has literally been like on my wish list for a while. So like when I saw it in store, I was like, this is your sign. This is your sign to get it. Get it. So yeah, we got it. Greatest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It's an Inheritance Games novel. So this is like, she's like done like that. I think this is like either like a spin-off from that series. I don't know. I just know that I've been collecting all the books related to the Inheritance Games so that when I do start it, I am fully ready to like fully immerse myself into this series. It may be one of the series I put on my list for next year. I cannot believe we are literally so close to 2025. That is insane. But yes, I have started to think about, you know, what series I really want to try to dive into, and so I think the Inheritance World series is one that I am putting on my list. So we shall see. We will see if I get to it, hopefully. But then the next one I have is the Xals by Jessica Joyce. I actually read the arc of this book, absolutely loved it. Like, guys, this book was amazing. And so she also has the, it's on my TBR card, You with the View. I have that one on my TBR card. After reading this one, like I said, I absolutely loved it. So I cannot wait to dive into You with the View. If you have not read this one, this is a second chance romance. Literally so beautiful. I ate this up. I ate this book up, and I just had to obviously get the paperback because why not? And it's just so cute. I just love her covers. Like, if you have seen the cover of You with the View, then you know, like, the covers are just literally stunning. So yes, I am so excited to dive into her next book. And then the other, like the last book that I got, which is actually a part of a series, well, there are 3 books into a series, so we're gonna count it as one book because they're a series. But I got the Winter Street novel series by Ellen Hildebrand. If you guys know, I just read The Perfect Couple by her, and even though I already have multiple books by her, I saw these in Books A Million, and they were actually on the bargain thing. So they were like $6-7. So I was like, you gotta get it. So there's only one more book that I have to get, which is the 4th book, which unfortunately Books A Million did not have. But we have Winter Street, Winter Stroll, Winter Storms. And so I'm like, you know, I loved Perfect Couple. I love the Nantucket world. Why not get one that's giving winter theme? So yes, we have these, and hopefully I like these. Let me know if you guys have read them. I literally cannot wait to read I really cannot wait to watch The Perfect Couple after reading the book, because I absolutely love that book. So yeah, we will see what Ellen Hildebrand book I pick up next. Those are all the books that I have accumulated, that I've remembered to put over here over the past like 3 months, I think. I honestly don't know how many books that was, but Let me know if you guys have read any of these. Let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, I thank you guys for clicking on this video today, and thanks for watching. And again, thank you to Temu for partnering with me on today's video. Like I said, everything will be in the description box, my coupon code and the items that I got, if you guys are interested in purchasing those for yourself. But yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.